Okay, so I'm live and I'm going to cover some cool stuff today that I think is in the news, which is the stable diffuser. And I think a lot of people have been playing around with stable diffuser, and so I think this will be pretty cool for people to check out some of the things that are happening with Hugging Face. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let's do this right here. And what I'm going to first start off with is just talk about the stable diffuser library here. And let's just go to stable diffuser, there we go, stable diffusion. I think this is the one we care about. I don't know which one is the main one. There's so many now. It's confusing, but basically, in terms of GitHub, um, this is where you build all these like AI images. I mean, that is pretty cool actually. Darth Vader doing mountain biking. Maybe I'll try to recreate that today. But one of the real problems is that it's non-trivial to get it installed locally. But I have actually done it. And then I'm going to show how to do that. And then also I'll just show you, if you go to Hugging Face here, you can do the same thing by just going to Stable Diffuser here. And so if we go to Spaces, this is probably the best way to do it. We go down here and we go to Spaces, Hugging Face, Stable. Stable diffusion, and we look at one of these, and we look at we need your contact information, access the repo, sure. I don't know where the other version of this is, and I'm going to see if I can find it. Here we go, Spaces. So if we look at the most popular one, and we can search here by recent or most liked. There we go, Stable Diffusion. That's the one I was caring about. So the idea here is that, and I'll bring these down for now, is that you can just put in Darth Vader mountain bike riding, and it'll actually go through here and it'll create an image for you. So that's what a lot of people have been playing around with in the last few weeks. Now the issue is, look, it's going to take 463 seconds, right? Now, one of the things you can do is you can actually get this working locally by going through the Mac install. And so what I did on my machine is M1, and you can see here that it's got basically some pretty good power here that I have on my machine. I have the latest M1 Ultra, and it has a total of, how many cores does it have? A lot of cores. Let's take a look at this. I don't even know how many CPU cores. It has 20. So 20 CPU cores. And then in terms of the activity monitor, we can go to this and we can throw this up here, and we can see that I have a total of 128 gigs of memory, right? So I have a pretty beefy machine here that should be able to do some quite heavy lifting, and I would say at least 16 gigs of RAM. And so the next step then is to get the environment running. So what I did here was use Conda, and there are some guides. Like if you just go to instead of GitHub and you just say like stable diffusion Mac M1, or something like that, there's a couple different things to choose from. One is that you could go to this person's website right here, and you could actually just download this application. And it looks like it's an Electron app, I guess, which is pretty interesting. And it'll let you download it, and you can just run it locally, and everything's all set up for you. It looks like, in fact, that he may even have some helper stuff for you. It says some changes made to me to make it buildable with Pi installer. So this is probably a pretty good place to check out getting it to run locally. I did something kind of similar to this as well, but I would say check out this Diva M Gupta Diffusion B Stable Diffusion UI. This is pretty good. I've tried it, and it's got a nice little UI. The other thing that you can do is you can also just get it running in a terminal. In fact, I did do that. So even though I'm not a huge fan of Conda, I did get Conda working locally, and it is a little bit of a pain. But once you've done that, what you can do, and I'll make this a little bit bigger, is that you can actually get these things running locally. And you'll see that why it's such a big deal, because when you compare this to the Stable Diffusion, like, look, it's still running. It's only halfway through done, right? So if you want to have the best memes to share out with other people, you need to go quicker, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run inside of this environment Python scripts Dream, and it gives me this user interface that has a prompt, and now it's going to run locally. Now, what's cool about this is that you'll see that it will basically take my M1 Ultra, which has I think like 64 GPU cores or something pretty big, and it's able to fully saturate it and run it. In fact, we'll even see how much memory it can take. In fact, I can probably do that. That would probably be a good thing to demo if we go to this, and I just like kind of make this smaller, like maybe up here or something like that, and you'll see, in fact, how much memory is actually becoming consumed when this thing is running. So I'll take the same thing. I can say Darth Vader mountain bike riding, and look, I'll probably beat it. And I'll just do this. I'll just do a quote, Darth Vader mountain bike riding. And it's going to go through. Now let's check out the memory. Look, see, it bumped it up quite a bit, and it's sucking a lot of memory. And look at the GPU. It's just saturating my GPU right here, and running it. And so this is why we're in this new future where people are using pre-trained models, that a lot of people are going to want to run these. And so what I'll do is I'll open up the outputs image samples here, and this will actually allow us to take a look at it. So what do we got here? Darth Vader. We have some guy that's, I don't know, morphed into a Darth Vader helmet. So that may not be the example that we want, right? So we may want to play around with this a little bit more. And so how do we do this? Well, we just keep tweaking it, right? And now that I have it local, we can actually play around with it. So Darth Vader, maybe I would put Star Wars outfit, mountain bike riding, black helmet, comical. I don't know, whatever I think would make it a little bit better. And again, we can see right here, this M1 Ultra is going to look. It definitely is able to saturate these GPUs and get things cranking. So here we go. It's making the next image, and let's grab this one. This is a little bit better. Here we go. So we got a Darth Vader. That's not a mountain bike though, but it definitely looks pretty funny to see. This is kind of a thin Darth Vader. I don't even know where that is, but it looks kind of funny. I don't think Darth Vader would want to ride a a 10 speed. It looks like a very lightweight road bike. So maybe we could even tweak it a little bit. Mountain bike, big tires, big tires, um, you know, aluminum or single track, um, dirt, um, road, things that are mountain bike terms. Here we go. We can go back in here and run another one. So really, the idea with using it locally is just so much faster to actually try out ideas and build things with stable diffusion. And in fact, you can also tweak the code yourself and make upstream changes. I think that's the other big takeaway here. And so here's another one that got generated. I mean, I don't. I don't know why it did that. It made two different. That's pretty good Darth Vader, but I don't know why it separated it. But maybe what we can do is you can always run it again, and you can even give it different parameters too. Like you can say -c, um, and you could do 4.0. And I believe if I remember correctly, what is C? We can look at it. Uh, Classifier agree. Higher numbers cause the generator to try harder. So CFG fail. So we can look through all the different options here too, as well. Image seed, number of samplings to perform, slower, but will provide seeds for individual images, number of steps, strength for noising, unnoising, um, upscale, all kinds of really cool options. So let's tweak this a little bit, and we'll say C 4.0. There we go. So we can tell it to change how much. Um, I don't know what that really means. Try harder, but like I'm assuming, be more creative. If it's the more weight you give to the prompts. But let's go ahead and take a look at what this builds next year. So this is definitely weird. So this looks a little better. This looks kind of comical, right? We've got a weird looking Darth Vader, not totally looking like Darth Vader, and even the tire looks a little bit flat. But yeah, that could be kind of fun. And we could also, if I look at some of these other things, upscale. If strength is not specified, defaults to 7. Scale factor, sure, let's upscale it. Let's try it. Let's try to tweak it a little bit more. Try some more options. So we'll say, let's go to level 8, and we'll say dash. Scale is -u here, and we'll do 8. No, 4. 4. Go to 4. So you get a lot more control by running it locally. And this is one of the few cases where your local machine is actually important, where a lot of times you care less about your local machine and you could care more about like using some kind of a cloud-based environment. In this particular environment, I think it really does make a pretty big difference. Here we go. Now this is not bad. This is kind of cool. This is like, I like this one. Here's another Darth Vader, and it's actually looks pretty sharp. Look at this, and it's got a weird looking mountain. It's almost like is that a motorcycle? No, it's just a weird looking mountain bike with a Darth Vader type dude riding it. So that could be the start of maybe a new science fiction movie. But that's it. That's stable diffusion in a nutshell. It does work on Apple M1 Ultra. If you don't want to go through and get all this stuff working, the other alternative is you can go to something like this and look. You can see that HuggingFace gave me a few different examples here. These actually weren't that good, but I also could go through and use like this Electron app and look at this person's examples as well. So those are some of the ideas for Hugging Face for today, and I will do more live coding MLOps, potentially with model serving. I'm thinking I might do that next week. But see you then.